Are you a movie buff? Do you love dissecting and analyzing your favorite films? Look no further than the Projection Booth podcast. Join host Mike White and a bevy of guest experts as they explore the history, themes, and legacy of cult classics, obscure gems, and mainstream hits. Join us every week for a unique and engaging look at your favorite movies. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and tune in to the Projection Booth podcast, available on all major podcast platforms.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, creeps. It's me, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to Chronicles from the Crypt.
I'm Casualty Chris.
And this is Father Malone.
And we are normally the hosts of Chronicles from the Crypt, a twice-a-month look at the cult horror anthology series Tales from the Crypt that originally aired on HBO from 1989 to 1996. However, we're doing another bonus episode. And if you listened to our last bonus episode on the Shudder Creepshow TV show reboot thing, you'll know that we are covering the entire run of Creepshow on Shudder. So this is us covering the second episode, and we are once again joined by Mrs. Jess Byard.
Hello.
The screamwriter extraordinaire, Jess Byard.
I was wondering if you were going to manage to come up with a new pun every time.
On this bonus episode, we are going to be taking a look at the second episode of Creepshow. It is broken up once again into two segments. All of these are two segments. It is Bad Wolf Down and The Finger. So, Bad Wolf Down is directed by Rob Schrab. It is written by Rob Schrab. And it, like the next segment, both premiered October 3rd, 2019. Rob Schrab is best known for his work on Scud, the Disposable Assassin, which is a comic book from the 90s. I guess it's still around in 2008. And he also wrote the film Monster House. Yes, the animated film about children in a monster house.
I have not seen that film.
I have not seen it either. However,
I've seen it.
Of course you have.
How was it?
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, that's...
I was really... I gotta say, I was really excited to see it, and then it ends up just being a house possessed of this woman and blah, 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 and it's all lame
Contrived
jokes.
and stupid.
Yeah, it's really bad, really
Would
bad.
you say that it was a house that was, in fact, a monster?
It is a monstrous domicile.
Oof, boy. So this episode segment, the first segment of the episode, however, is called Bad Wolf Down, and it focuses on a group of American soldiers who get trapped behind enemy lines in World War II, only to find themselves trying to figure out an unconventional way to survive a Nazi ambush.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think I just pretty much... That's the entire episode. You don't even have to watch it.
Right. Which, I mean, for a 20-some minute long episode, that's fine. It doesn't have to be a whole lot more story.
No.
Unless it gets convoluted. But I think
You know what, it
before
has
we
to
go
be.
into... I
Good.
think before we go into this segment, though, we should talk about our introduction to this segment with Mr. Creep and the lady with the pentagram on her hand. Which, Chris, I mean, I was getting major werewolf vibes after we just recorded.
Some mad werewolf vibes, yeah.
Some mad werewolf vibes. But yes, we start off this episode with the Creep again. Which, instead of him, like, going after the comic, he's instead at this table with this gypsy woman, I guess. Fortune teller of some kind. And...
Oh, she's a gypsy.
Yeah, and she gets, the pentagram on her hand, and we get swept away into the story, I guess. But what'd you guys think of that?
Think about the episode, the story, or the intro. The creep is still disappointing.
The creep's real bad.
He's not, and I think that, I liked him in the first episode because he wasn't, I don't know, he had too much to do now in this, and it seems like they're trying to, like, make him a little bit too crypt keepery without talking. Like, he's just kind of, like, goofy and seems sly. I don't know.
Now he's got jokes.
I felt like we should do that before, we should at least mention that before we get into the actual story, but... Well,
and again, it would be fine if the creep looked good, but the creep...
His hands were a little chunky.
Yeah. The hands aren't great, the face isn't great, it's just not good. I think we're just going to keep saying that over and over again.
Yeah, the thing is, it seems like... it feels like there's just a hand in there, and the head is held way too close to the chest, so it's like... It already looks enough like a puppet, and it's being manipulated as if it were a poor puppet, so...
Yeah, it doesn't have a good movement to it. It's very stilted.
Yeah, let's be fair, like... If that is the case, which it is, they should never have had it moving to begin with.
Right. I like a more static creep, I would agree.
Just animate them already.
Oh, well,
yes,
and then they do.
Or take the Creepshow 2 vibe, and we'll do animated creep. I like that, too.
Yeah. But then again, now we've seen him animated, and I'm more happy with the puppet.
Yeah, the animated creep is not much better.
Oh my god, the animation on the show is so awful. The drawings in general are terrible.
Yeah, there are a lot of animated. All right, I guess we got to start at the beginning.
Yeah. Let's get into this episode here. This story. This wolf of badness down.
Bad wolf down.
It is not a good segment. Right?
What?
Right?
Oh no, I disagree. I think it is a fucking terrible episode.
Wait, I said it was not good.
Yeah. I'm saying it's much worse than that. I think you're giving it too much credit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never know because, Mike, you and I often, when you're on the Culture Cast, we're normally pretty close opinion-wise. But on Chronicles, we tend to disagree more often than not on things. And I honestly did not know, Jess, what you were going to think, or Mike, what you were going to think. But yeah, this episode as a whole is bad. And this segment is worse than The Finger.
This particular segment, while watching it felt like I wrote it when I was 14 years old.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool that werewolves were fighting Nazis?
Yeah, and the direction sort of supports that. Like, this also felt like I directed it when I was 14 years old. It is not good. Not good.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a huge fan of this segment, but what I do want to say, and Chris, I don't know if you'll agree with me or not on this. I do think that for a 20-some minute long episode, this is a much better episode of Werewolf than any episode of Werewolf we have watched.
Wow, that's not hard. I would agree with you 100%.
Because at least what this story has going for it is that, yeah, it's very basic, and it is a really, I'm the werewolf Nazi concept, I do think, that's fun. I think it's more fun in a more expanded universe. And that's the problem here is that, but at least this story is cohesive and contained, unlike things in Werewolf where they're trying to do too much and also simultaneously doing nothing.
I agree.
But I don't know. I can't entirely dislike this episode because I love Jeffery Combs, even if he is completely crazy.
Wasted.
In some of his... He was extremely wasted. He's always... unless he's, front and center and whatever he's in, he's wasted. But that did help, I think, exponentially lift up this episode. I didn't mind the effects too much. I wanted to see a bit more. It felt really like we didn't get to see. I don't know.
Well, they did all those comic book things where it's like, and look,
exactly.
Now they're becoming werewolves. It's like, wow, that's fucking lame.
Right. It's like, why can't we get a transformation? At least in Werewolf, we do get transformations every episode.
I think that the budget for this is even lower than Werewolf because they just don't.
Because half of it's comic book, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it probably takes, like, a full day to shoot one of these things. Maybe 2 days if you want to drag it out.
Yeah. And look, all I could think about when I was watching this was Werewolf Women of the SS. The Rob Zombie fake trailer from Grindhouse. Because that's what this felt like. It's like, what's weird? Werewolves. What could werewolves kill that no one honestly gives a shit about and would defend? Nazis. So, there you go. It's werewolves fighting Nazis. And by fighting, I mean just mercilessly killing them.
Right. I mean, we're really just sitting with these characters in this house, cabin, whatever it is, while they just murder these werewolf women.
But to be fair, at the end, it's just like 2 minutes of the werewolves killing the Nazis, because the other 20 minutes of this episode are the soldiers who get locked in a cell by one of their own soldiers with a, unbeknownst to them, werewolf woman, and they have to get bitten by her because she wants to die, and as she's dying, she bites them, turning them into werewolves so that they can escape the Nazis who just happen to find them.
Right, because now they'll be good werewolves, I guess.
Sure. This episode is supremely dumb.
Yeah, because it's like not even how werewolves work. Like,
no, it is absolutely not how werewolves work. And everything was telegraphed from the get-go. They get into this goddamn former police station. The woman's in the thing. We can see all the carnage that's already around, and it's like, okay, so the woman in the cell is a werewolf. Okay, good. And then they get locked in, and I'm like, okay, so she's going to have to bite them so they can turn into werewolves because they're surrounded by the Nazis. Yep, there it is. Just logically speaking, they get locked into this cell with like a key. I mean, the cell itself looks like it's from, the 1800s.
It does.
So
I'm
they're locked
confused.
in.
It looks like the cells from Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, man. And like they're like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And I said out loud, oh, it's too bad none of you are heavily armed. Because how could you possibly get out of this cell?
It's too bad none of you have guns or grenades or anything.
That's what I'm saying. 2 seconds later, you're out of the goddamn cell.
Yeah, honestly, you probably just like bash on it for a while and it'll eventually come apart.
If your plan is to have the werewolf woman bite you so you could become a werewolf, maybe wait to give her the silver. I thought that was a little bit wonky.
Yeah, that doesn't make
like
any
she
sense.
swallows it. Shouldn't she have been dying already? Like when she's like, all right, now I'm going to bite you, now I'm going to bite you, I'll bite you. Okay.
It was a delayed reaction.
Now you're werewolves. Yeah, yeah. And then my favorite thing is the Nazis show up. And they're like, all right, we're coming in. And they're like, okay, quick, bite us. And then there's this, like, it seems like the Nazis wait for like an hour. Like, they throw in smoke grenades, and then they're just still waiting.
Yeah, they say, we're waiting until nightfall. That is literally what Jeffery
Let's wait until nightfall. Throw in the grenades.
When the werewolves are more likely to kill us.
Exactly. And there are already, like, in the opening scene, there are, like, not like wanted posters, but like warning posters, like, watch out, werewolves. So somebody around here knows there are werewolves. I guess, who put those up? I don't know. So dumb.
I guess the Nazis know about them for
apparently
right. So then
like doing experiments or some shit.
And this episode, it traffics in something that I absolutely hate, which is when like a screenwriter knows one phrase in a foreign language, and we've already accepted that they're going to be speaking English, but that phrase is going to come in. So as soon as they showed that it was going to be World War II, I went, how long till somebody says Mein Gott or Gott in Himmel? And sure enough, right before Jeffery Combs gets it, Mein Gott! Like, I've been speaking perfect English this entire time, but now I got to revert.
Right,
so
now
dumb.
I'm going to do this, because remember, I'm German, even though
I do love the usage of Mein Gott, though. Mein Gott, un Werwolf!
Well, that's Jeffery Combs.
So good. And what are the rules about werewolves? That some of them turn into quadrupeds, while others are still bipedal.
One is a wolf cop, and the other one is just werewolf. The main soldier looks like Wolf Cop. Like, it's clearly just a guy in a werewolf mask. And then Kid Cudi, yes, that Kid Cudi, for whatever reason, is in this episode, and he becomes a full-on werewolf.
Right. Like on not hands and knees, but like four paws. I will say,
it's weird. They do have stages of werewolfism.
The main guy playing Captain Lawrence Talby. Get it, everybody? Like Lawrence Talbot, the original werewolf. Like, I thought that guy was pretty good. When they find the Germans who have already been murdered, and one of them sort of pops up and he's still alive, the makeup on him is a clear nod to Jack in American Werewolf in London. It is almost an exact recreation of it, and they did it really well, even down to the little flaps of skin, like sort of wiggling on his neck there. So those things I liked. I liked kind of the design of the werewolves, but it also felt like they were completely overreaching. Like maybe just one of them should have been a werewolf, and they could have put all the money into one, and then it would have looked really good.
I was going to say, Jess, the werewolves in this, honest to God, did not look any different than Werewolf 1987.
No, they didn't. They look a lot, and I mean, honestly, it's that same kind of Howling look, but not as over the top as Howling, which is why I like that. But
and this is 22 years
Werewolf,
later.
Yeah, in these and in Werewolf, it's all very much like your standard, I don't know, it just looks like a generic werewolf.
It looks like someone with a werewolf head on their shoulders, and it is it's a mask that is an extension, and you're looking out through the fur. That's what it looks like, because that's what it was in the 1987 TV show Werewolf. That's what this is. It's the exact same thing. It's not creative. It's not inventive. It's not anything. It's just a very stock and trade werewolf costume.
Right, which is why, like I said, I wanted more from that. If we're going to do a full-on werewolf episode, I want to see, like, a Greg Nicotero transformation scene. Why? I mean, if you're going to put money anywhere in this fucking show, you would think that it would be there.
The comic book transformation.
Yeah.
Like, just so dumb. Like, why are you wasting like you said, why are you wasting the chance to show a werewolf transformation on the comic book
Shudder
interstitial? Well, yeah. On Shudder, and it's like, why are you wasting it on these comic book interstitials? Like, you could have had a transformation.
Sorry to stop for a sec, but the other thing I did like, even though it was really clumsily done, is that this is the first time it felt like somebody was reverting to the original Creepshow movie's lighting scheme for a couple things. Like, there's a shot of Jeff Combs where he's like bathed in like green light with a red sort of pattern behind him. It goes on too long. It's super clumsily done, but I was like, hey, at least they're trying. In fact, during the werewolf attack, like he did a lot of sort of red and blue and green lighting, which I liked, but that whole sequence was garbage.
Explain to me why we don't see him having his jaw ripped off.
I know.
This is a R-rated TV show on Shudder, the horror movie network.
Yeah.
And you are not going to show a character's head being, like, the jaw being ripped off. They showed more in The Walking Dead when characters are killed by Negan with a baseball bat to the head. They showed more of that, and that's on network television.
Well, yeah, but they had to... Then they would have had to actually cast Jeffrey Combs' entire head and build up a bust. I mean, come on.
I understand why they didn't. I'm not asking why, like a technical why. I'm asking why.
Well, that's it. That's your answer.
Yeah. Why don't you give a shit why is what I'm asking. Yeah. I'm not asking a logistical why. I'm asking you should give a shit more about this why.
Well.
Yeah, this just felt we're going to do a werewolf episode now.
You're welcome, Mike. I want to know why it's so fucking neutered. Why this show is so neutered as a show. Why is this R-rated?
But you know what? We have guts. We have guts pouring out of people and shit. You know.
Yeah, the next
there's plenty
episode.
of gore.
Sure.
The next segment has plenty of gore, I guess. But
no, yeah, exactly. I guess it really doesn't. Let's move on.
I mean, it does, but it's just not done well.
No.
It's not executed in a particularly horrific way.
I do want to see the Frankenzilla versus Frankenstein from the opening splash page. Did you guys see that?
No, I totally missed that.
Oh yeah. When the comic book opens, they still have the they put in these little ads for things like that. That I would like to see a Frankenstein Godzilla versus actual Frankenstein. They advertise that as a potential issue, and I want to see it.
Oh, you mean something that ended up being more interesting just in concept than this did in execution?
Absolutely.
Yeah, boy, isn't that fun. So let's move on to the second segment, The Finger. So The Finger is directed by Greg Nicotero, written by David J. Shao. David J. Shao, he's worked on a lot of stuff. Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. I know that. I'm just kidding. He's worked on other things. He's worked on... He wrote... He's uncredited on Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. I think he was the main writer or one of two writers on The Crow. So, but
hey, you know what? I would rather watch Nightmare 5 or The Crow than this episode again, so...
Yeah, but he is very much like a splatterpunk writer.
He helped coin that term, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, of course he did. But he's featured pretty heavily in the later parts of the Never Sleep Again documentary, because obviously he was involved in Dream Child, and Dream Child is bad. Real bad. Definitely not
No, it's not good.
Not good.
It's fun.
It's fun, yeah,
Hey,
but it's not good. I mean, was that the one where the MPAA like just took it and beat the shit out of it? That's the one where it's like the guy's riding the motorcycle, Dan is riding the motorcycle, and it's like melding with him, and the MPAA was like, nah, you don't get to do like any of this. That's Dream Child.
That was every Nightmare on Elm Street film.
Yeah, that's true. You can't show the splash of blood.
Before you guys tear this apart, I'm going to say I really liked it. I like this one. I like this one a lot. I liked it better than any of the previous 3 segments we've seen.
Really?
Wow.
Fact.
I mean, that's fine.
I really enjoyed it.
I liked parts of it, but honestly, my main note...
Actually, no, let me prevaricate for a second. It's not better than the House of the Head. That one stuck with me. I don't think this one's going to stick with me as much, but I put it on par with that. It seems to me that the second segments of each of these episodes are going to be better than the first. And I actually really like this one.
So basically, this episode is about a dude who is, I guess he's down on his luck. He's divorced. Has money problems, whatever. And he finds this little finger and decides to keep it. And then it grows into this little
he's a keeper of forsaken items.
Right. So
Cursed objects.
Cursed objects.
The Frogurt is also cursed.
Well, why not?
Potassium benzoate. That's bad.
And so it grows into this little monster, which I do really like the monster. And my issue with this show, with this episode, is not really at all with what the story is. That's fine. I just really hate this dude.
You don't like DJ Qualls?
No, the actor, fine. The character, I hate him. He's just, I don't know. He really gets on my nerves. And I'm just, I don't know. I can't, there's no sympathy towards him. And I just wanted the little monster to eat him and be done with it.
Well, the thing about it is what the way that the episode, the way that this segment is structured is that he is breaking the fourth wall constantly and narrating his own story. And
Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. Look, I will say this much. I didn't dislike it as much as you did, Jess. I normally like these kinds of fourth wall breaking.
No, it's not the fourth wall problems I have with. It's just his character. If he were more likable.
Yeah, normally, but
yeah,
normally
but can you not enjoy something with a character that is unlike? I mean,
I can.
Do you really like any of the
really
characters in Casino?
But they're entertaining. He is not entertaining.
Yeah. I know, but, his circumstance is the entertaining portion of it. It's not really the guy,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just harboring, ill will because I, unfortunately, had to work as a debt collector. No, I used to be a debt collector, which sucked. I hated that job so much, and I think, I was just that lady that little monster ate for no reason. She just was... She probably hated that job, and now she's dead.
She's just doing her job. Well, she seemed like she was really enjoying her job.
I guess. I mean, she just said, "Hi, this is a debt collector." And then he said, "Hey, you Nazi bitch, shut the fuck up." I did, however, like his interaction with the dude in the truck.
I was on board with this segment for a while until it got to the ending, which was so fucking stupid.
Why?
Because it should have just been Bob killing him.
It was.
No, it's this bullshit of, did it actually happen or did it not happen?
No, it didn't. It did not happen. The creature was all in his head.
Yeah, but that's fucking lame. That's
nope.
That's lame. And it's lame and lazy. It's lazy. Anytime you do...
Is it lazy?
Yes, anytime...
You're lazy.
Fine. Fuck you while you're at it. Anytime you do a character who is an unreliable narrator and you do it was all in his head, that is lame. They do it in Tales from the Crypt all the time. That Richard Jordan episode is a good example of this bullshit of the characters telling you the story from the asylum. And in that one, it happens. In this, we don't know if Bob was actually real or not. And at the end...
I think he was.
I agree.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was real.
But here's the problem.
You don't know.
I don't want that to have any place in this. It's Creepshow. Of course it fucking exists. It's a show about monsters and fucking werewolves. Don't do this bullshit of, it didn't actually exist. Because I'm on board with it existing. It's Creepshow. Why would
it did exist. Okay.
But my point is...
We good now?
But my point is that the show should never have done that ending like that. It should never have done.
Okay, so for the last 30 seconds, that ruins everything that came before. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, kinda, yeah.
I mean, if you're arguing that it effectively obliterates whatever happened because maybe nothing happened and he just murdered those people.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
But, I mean...
You're both wrong. This is a good episode. That monster was awesome.
2 against 1, baby. Welcome to the podcast.
Turnabout.
Yeah.
Curses.
Yeah.
My own words against me.
Yeah.
Now, I still think that the house with the head is the
House of the Head
best episode so far.
I agree with that, but I like this one better than the other two.
And the other thing is I was really on board. I mean, like Jess mentioned, the design of the monster is interesting. It's unique. It looks kind of
He's
like...
pretty cute.
Yeah, it's like a cute xenomorph, is what it reminds me.
Xenomorphs are adorable.
Especially in Spaceballs when they have those little hats on and they're dancing. But it is a very interesting segment, and then it just completely, again, for me, it just falls apart at the end. And that's fine, but I will tell you this, once again, Greg Nicotero is showing that he knows how to direct, which is not surprising, I would say, but when you think of Greg Nicotero, you don't think of Greg Nicotero, the director. I know he's directed a fair amount of episodes.
He directed the first one.
I know, but also he's
I didn't think that one was that great. He directed.
But he's also directed
this one. I think is better, much better.
The problem with Gray Matter was the script. It wasn't really his direction.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Yeah,
but Nicotero's also directed like almost 30 episodes of Walking Dead, which I don't think.
Well, I won't hold that against him.
Right? Yeah, exactly. He's the guru of Walking Dead.
Hey man, you got to make your money somewhere.
And boy, money is flying in, I'm sure. But my point is when I think of Greg Nicotero, I don't think of him as a competent director. I think of him as, Greg Nicotero of K&B.
Effects guy.
Yeah, and his direction is great. But
yeah, he does something that, when we talked about the last episode, we were talking about the comic book sort of transitions from scene to scene. And I was saying, if it seems almost seamless and we're going from one, visual thing, we're the actual show, we're not, dissolving into a comic book, then it works. And he did that here. Like the werewolf one, they kept doing the old way, which is suddenly it's a freeze frame and then it turns into a comic and then we go from comic book panel to comic book panel and then back into live action. Here, he was breaking up the frame and using live action up here on the top left and down in the bottom right to tell the story in a more comic booky way, which is much closer to what Romero was doing originally. So I really appreciated that in this.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I don't know. I just really hated this guy.
Well, and again, the script, it ultimately does for me, once again, just like Gray Matter, just like the House of the Head. Again, that was my opinion on it, not y'all's. It comes back to the script. It's not the direction, it's the script. And the other thing about the ending outside of, the whole, is it real, is it not? These episodes, they are not benefiting from being 22 minutes long.
I still agree with that.
They end so quickly, and the ending is so abrupt, and you're just like, you need 5 more minutes, that's it, to tell this story succinctly and all the way through. Because, okay, so maybe the monster's in his head, maybe it's not, but the creature just disappears. And it's like, well, where did it go? Where is it? What's it doing? And again...
You get a little hint with its little chittering sound.
Yeah.
Which you might have not heard. I only really knew it happened because we watched everything with subtitles on, so it just said chirping at the bottom. But I didn't hear it really.
I will say I was kind of hoping that Bob was going to show back up in his cell and kill him because Bob is now taken up with somebody else who hates this guy. Like, I thought that could have been a more satisfying ending.
Yeah, that would have been
a much
more satisfying ending.
If that had happened, I would have fucking loved this episode.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, the ending, outside of the fact that it's like, is it real, is it not? It just doesn't feel like a wrap-up to the story that's being told.
Yeah, no, I see that.
In my mind, Mike, this character is very similar to something that we saw in Dreams for Sale, which is the Shadow Man. That's what it kind of reminded me of. It's like this weird thing is doing your bidding for you, whether or not you want it to, it's going to anyways. And what I thought was going to be was that, Bob, or so he thinks, would show up at the end, but it's another one, or someone else's.
Yeah.
And it kills him. That would have been great. So it's like at the window, and he's like, Bob, come in here, and it comes in, and it comes up to him, and he realizes that it's not his, it's someone else's, and then it kills him. And you see the final panel is the comic book panel of it, like, grabbing his head and, like, running out with it or pushing it through the grate of the prison cell or something. Because that's that is a much more interesting ending and a much better thought out ending than what we got, which is,
I agree.
He'll come back, he loves me. It's like, who gives a shit?
It's like, I don't love you. I don't care.
Okay, having said that, here are some things that I liked about it, everybody. I like that when they show the thing sort of skittering around in the background and everything. Now, I'm almost positive that was computer-generated imagery.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But they kind of like took the effort to make it look as if it were a stop-motion thing, and for some reason that tickled me.
I would agree.
I really liked that.
The frame rate seemed to be taken down a bit on the animation, maybe.
Yeah, so I like that. And I like the idea of these two sort of becoming friends, there's something interesting to me about the idea of like your will for vengeance, like becoming your pal. Like I liked that idea.
Or his child, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's true. Or like a pet, like a dog. And I liked all the interaction between those two. I don't know. I obviously had a much better time watching this than you two did, and ultimately I'm going to recommend it, and that's all I'll say. Unless you guys say something that I disagree with, in which case I'll jump back in.
I was just going to say, I definitely reiterate, like you said, if they had the ending where it's like that, Bob came back because he was now, friends with somebody who had it out for him, and then he ended up killing them. I think that would have completely changed this and turned it around, and I would have liked it. And like I said, I really like the design. I agree with everything you say about the monster. I think I like its movement. I like all of that. But yeah, for me, it just comes down to the character in this, and that I can't, and I have watched plenty of movies where I don't, I would never want to be friends or hang out with the people that I'm watching them, but I gotta at least be entertained by you at some point. And if all you do is get on my nerves, then it's gonna be a lot harder for me to get on board.
Well, and I mean, again, I agree. My issues with the episode are a little different, but the ending really does it's unfortunate because I was pretty much on board with the episode throughout, but then the ending comes and I'm just like, oh, really? That's it? Like, come on, guys. There's a writer's room somewhere that someone pitched this idea and everyone just, I guess, didn't say anything or God knows what. So
I get the feeling that there is no writer's room on Creepshow.
Yeah, right? Like, I wouldn't think that's this. I would not think personally that if the three of us were in the writer's room, we were working on this, and there was a fourth person, because I'm not going to pin this ending on any of us, because I think the three of us could write a better ending, because we pretty much just did. One of us would have said something to that person, because in my mind, it is a bummer of an ending for such an interesting episode.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, honestly, I think a lot of where this show kind of takes a turn, and I think it's evident with all of the problems that we've discussed, be it in this episode and episodes before, is that it's really, I think, it's really underfunded. I think there needs to be just a bit more money behind it, or there needs to be a bit more time behind it. Either one. It's either too rushed, or it doesn't have enough budget behind it, or both. And I don't really know. I mean, production schedules are insane. It's hard to make shit. I get that. I totally get that. But I don't know exactly how it works on Shudder and how, I mean, from what I understand, it seems like Greg Nicotero has pretty much full creative control, I would think. Maybe Shudder has final, like, you know, the whoever higher ups at Shudder have final cut. I'm not sure, but it just seems like, yeah, if there was just a bit more time put behind it or a bit more money thrown behind it, which obviously those are always the thing that everybody needs more of and there's not enough of. But that's just, for me, I think that that's where this show is kind of, I still like it. I'm still on board. I still want to keep watching it. I'm glad that it's back, or that it's a thing, I should say, not back. Because I like this form of storytelling. I just, there doesn't seem to be, I don't know, it seems like a lot of the scripts are maybe like second drafts. Like, and I think that maybe there needs to be, maybe they're even third drafts. I don't know. It just needs to be one more draft, I think, on most of these episodes.
I can forgive a lot, sort of budgetarily speaking, but like one of my favorite anthology series of all time was Tales from the Dark Side. They clearly had zero budget. Like everything looks like a set, and none of it looks really all that good. But they did sort of, I mean, I think in those episodes, there's probably 22 minutes too, because that was actually on like syndicated, so they had to, you know, give them at least 8 minutes of commercials. But it really does come down to the script. Like, you have to, knowing what your limits are going to be, you have to hone it to a point where it's going to be as much as you possibly can get on screen at the time. And the budget is kind of secondary. And like as I said, like, I will suspend my disbelief for you to the ends of the earth if your idea is clever enough and everything else makes sense. And speaking to that, I did want to say one more thing, which this actually really reminded me of an episode of Tales from the Crypt that was actually directed by Tom Savini, called Inside the Closet. What's that?
Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side?
No, it's Tales from the Dark Side. Tom Savini directed an episode called Inside the Closet, starring Fritz Weaver, where this like girl moves into a room in this professor's house, and she notices there's like a tiny closet in her room, and like every time she comes back in the room, the little door is open, and it turns out there's this little creature in there, and it ends up killing her. But as it turns out, it's like the professor, the Fritz Weaver's character's like daughter, and she's just mutated and weird, and like they have this sort of rapport that this character has with Bob in it. Like, he's just like, oh, you're so cute, I love you. So it felt a lot like that to me, and I know Greg Nicotero must have known about that episode, given that he was Savini's assistant for so many years. So anyway, as a callback to that, I also appreciated the episode.
I do really like that episode of Tales from the Dark Side. Are the next episodes with the Pretzel Man?
So here's the thing. On Wikipedia...
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, on Wikipedia, everything was out of order, and now it's seemingly put back into order. But like the Twilight Zone reboot that aired earlier this year, I don't think they're making it readily available to the viewers ahead of time what episodes they're going to be showing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the next one is. Right now, it says it's Night of the Paw and Skin Crawlers. One is a Careful What You Wish For story.
Like the Monkey's Paw.
Oh, no.
Monkey's Paw, Night of the Paw. And then the other one is a new weight loss. A man considers a miraculous new weight loss treatment that turns out to have unexpected complications.
Thinner.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I can think of is Thinner, right? So,
yep.
Oh, God, let's hope not.
and that one, Skin Crawlers, is
that one will be starring. That'll be starring Doug Jones in a fat suit for most of the episode.
That one is written by Paul Dini, who did a ton of work on Warner Brothers animated cartoons in the 90s.
The creator of Harley Quinn, Mr. Paul Dini.
And Stephen Langford, who has written a book called Love Wrecked, which is a Amanda Bynes film. So,
well, that's got to be good.
Yeah. So, until then, where can people find you, Jess?
You can find me on Twitter at writer Jess Byard, and you can find me on our podcast, Chris, Werewolf, which we did talk about during this episode. We are almost finished. Well, it's not actually called Werewolf. It's called the One Season Show, where we talk about shows that lasted one season.
Thank God it's not just called Werewolf, the podcast.
We are almost done with Werewolf, so you have time to catch up on the first 3 episodes before the 4th and penultimate episode ends for the season. And yeah, that's about it. You can hear me a lot on the Culture Cast too.
It's true. What about yourself, Father Malone?
Where can you find me? You can find me on my YouTube channel, Ot5 Films, where I do a show called You've Never Seen and another one called Unaired Pilots. Please go check those out. You can hear me on our podcast, Chris Chronicles from the Crypt, about Tales from the Crypt, the HBO television series. Jesus Christ, you can also hear me on the Dreams for Sale, the Twilight Zone 85 podcast. And Jesus Christ, you can also hear me on CultureCast a lot. How about you, Chris?
I do appreciate you plugging Chronicles from the Crypt while we're on Chronicles from the Crypt.
Oh my God! You know what? I had somehow convinced myself that we're doing a Creepshow podcast. You're right. Hey, everybody! You know the podcast you're listening to? I'm on it.
Keep listening. Don't you love it? Oh, Jesus Christ.
How stupid.
You can find me a couple places. CultureCast, Chronicles from the Crypt, which you're listening to. See, I even did it, and that wasn't a joke. I just did it on
Wait, what?
Yeah. Dreams.
That sounds like a good podcast.
Yeah, you should listen to it. Dreams for Sale, the Kolchak tapes, which I do with our friend Mike White.
Not for long.
Not for long. Well, soon it'll be Barney Miller. And then...
oh, shit.
And, so I'm all over the place. Jess is all over the place. Mike is all over the place. So check those podcasts and their Twitters out. My Twitter is Casualty_Chris. If you like what we're doing with this little Creepshow bonus thing, let us know on Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Email us. Big thanks, as always, to John Kassir for the intro and the kind words at the beginning of the podcast, and we'll catch you on the next episode.